What up, peeps? Here we go. We just got a quick photo dump of a lot of cards that are coming out for set B2. So I thought we'd just go through a first reaction here. We'll be able to see the text clearly and kind of see what's going on in the next 24 hours before the pack set gets released. So let's go ahead and have a look and deliberate. And this is just my first impressions. So here we go. Now, Sightseer we saw from the trailer. We do know that it's a cool card. Look at the first top 4 cards of your deck. Put all stage 1 Pokemon you find there into your hand. So as I stated earlier in a previous video, Melmetal, Mega Steelix, Mega Altaria, Evolutions especially I think is going to be pretty cool with this. So we're going to wait and see how this is going to perform overall, because I think there's a lot more stage 1s than we can see, and I think they are seemingly tailoring towards more stage 1 card play. So we'll see. Next here is another supporter card that we haven't seen yet, and this is Juggler. You can use this card only if your Pokemon in play have 3 or more different types of energy attached. Move all energy from each of your benched Pokemon to your active. Right, so this would be good for Drifblim, I think, the one that just has a bunch of energy attached and will do the amount of damage based on that. Obviously it supports ramping, so it'll be very interesting to see if you do some funky plays with energy rampers and then throw them all onto the one in the active, but I'm not yet sure how good it is, but that's cool. A new stadium card, so this is good because we always wanted to see if there was just more than the one stadium card, which was Peculiar Plaza. Now this one is each basic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent, gets plus 20 HP. Right, so this means baby cards, right? Magikarps and all that stuff will have more survivability if you're going to play Mega Gyarados or whatnot. So this is a pretty interesting card. Not a lot of things are going to be easily one-shot as they did in the past, so this gives you time to build. So this is a pretty good stadium card. Juggler, the full art here, really nice. Peculiar Plaza, we've seen retreat cost of each psychic Pokemon in play is 2 less, which I still think is going to be very powerful. And another card here, the stadium card, is the training area. Attacks used by stage 1 Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent, will do plus 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is essentially a free Giovanni, which is pretty cool. And stage 1, so you can still use Melmetal, Mega Steelix. Mega Altaria will actually do with a full bench 140 rather than 130, which is pretty good considering cards like Suicune is capped at 140 unless you give it a cape. So I think the stadium card is pretty good, and I believe there's just 3. This Sightseer card looks amazing, as most of the supporter cards do, so looking forward to trying grabbing myself one of these. Piers, so this is a great supporter card, and again this card can only be used if you have Galarian Obstagoon in play. So it doesn't mean that he has to be in the active, he could be in the bench, but discard 2 random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So a lot of kind of energy dismissal that we've seen so far. Diantha, absolutely beautiful. Healed 90 damage, discard 2 energy, but it can only heal from a psychic Pokemon that has 2 psychic energies or more, and it will remove those 2 psychic energies to heal 90. Again, look, if we're going to be able to ramp easily, then I guess this card is going to be really good. Otherwise, it'll be pretty tricky if you can't ramp up easy, but it looks like it's not too bad here. This is the Piers, and this... So we have 2 crowns, I know that. One of the crowns here is Protective Poncho. Now, we have struggled for a long time of, sniping and with abilities, especially from Greninja. Essentially, this card is, as long as it's attached to someone on the bench, prevent all damage done to that Pokemon by your Pokemon's attacks and abilities. So Poncho is going to be a bench Pokemon's best friend. Units like Jirachi, basically the snipers, like Decidueye is going to have a tough time here, which will mean that Guzma stocks will have to rise up. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how this goes in the meta. And I think what we have to keep in mind is that we are only still stuck with, what, 20 cards to a deck. So to be able to fit these types of cards in, remove some other cards for aggressive ones like Greninja, for example, and putting in a Guzma is going to be quite interesting to say the least. Also, if you want, you can use Klefki as well. So this is good. This is shaking up the meta for sure. Sail Fossil. I don't know what fossil Pokemon that is, but I guess we'll find out later. But we do have, I think we have two. Metal Core Barrier, the full text in all its clear glory here. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard it at the end of your opponent's turn. The Metal Pokemon this card is attached to takes negative 50 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So again, we covered this a little bit. This is going to be really good for like 19T Mega Mawile if you want to use that, or any other steel type. Meltan is going to be able to have a much easier time ramping up with a mass here, having this in play. And if you want to be extra careful, you can chuck on an Adaman as well. So I think this is a really cool trainer card to have. And it does look like a lot of these tools are becoming more important, which means Guzma stocks will definitely be almost maybe a requirement now in decks, but we'll have to wait and see, right? This is the regular version of the Protective Poncho here, so it's just funny also that this thing is blue, kind of signifying Greninja in my eyes, but this is cool. Lucky Ice Pop. Heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. If you healed any damage in this way, flip a coin. If heads, put this Lucky Ice Pop into your hand instead of the discard pile. Okay, so this, you could reuse this over and over again if you're that lucky with the amount of heads. That's, again, interesting take, interesting card. I mean, look, Chingling prevents item cards, but once you get rid of that thing, this is kind of cool. I mean, I think it's kind of gambly though, so it's just funny that you could heal up like a significant amount, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays. The Jaw Fossil. Okay, so this has got to do with, I think this is Tyrantrum. Play this card. Yeah, this is the other fossil here with Tyrantrum, so that's going to be cool. Diantha, we know what that does as the regular version. And here is another new Mega EX, which is Mega Kangaskhan, Double Punching Family. Now, this is a beautiful 2-star full art. This attack is used twice in a row. The second attack will do 40 damage. If the first attack knocks out your Pokemon's active Pokemon, the second attack used after your Pokemon chooses a new active Pokemon. So this is kind of interesting. So if you knock one out with 80, you can do another 40 on whatever he puts in the active. So kind of cool. 3 colorless energy is helpful, so you can slot this in wherever you like. The artwork is just phenomenal, by the way. Just looking at that again, I've never been more drawn to a like a Kangaskhan than I have with this card right now, which is really cool. So that's really nice to see. We got a full art Slackoth here. Yawn, your opponent's active is now asleep. Interesting to see if we get the slacking and see how that goes. The Phalanx, kind of an interesting one. Have 2 of them and they can do plus 40 damage and then receive negative 20 for a 90 HP, 1 retreat cost. Gigalith EX, beautiful. Look, the arts are getting better and better, or something, right? It just looks absolutely phenomenal here. Attack does 140 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon during your next turn. This Pokemon can't attack. 4 fighting energy, 4 retreat is pretty insane. And we already know how hard it is to ramp up fighting type Pokemon. The 190 HP is pretty nutty, but to get this started will be pretty difficult. And why I say that is because it's 4 fighting energy. You don't get any colorless to kind of do like a baby play or something unless there's a baby Pokemon for fighting that ramps it. I don't know, but we'll wait and see. A new Alola Muck card that is not EX. Basic Pokemon in play. Both yours and your opponents have no abilities. Okay. So this is primarily a bench Pokemon for Alolan Muck. Are we about to say maybe Rip or Oricorio users? And Greninjas, I guess, if they're in the active, but this is the type of card that we've kind of been looking for. So it looks like this set is really honing in on canceling ability Pokemon or poke and everything. To have this just sit on the bench, and then basic, like you can have like a full-on brawler in the front, but basically this gets rid of Oricorio blockage from EX. That is huge. The stage 1, 110 HP, not a lot. I mean, it's basically like a Weezing. 3 retreat costs, and it's a Alolan. Still a great card, though. I think this is such an interesting freaking set we're coming into, guys. Galarian Obstagoon. Very, very cool full art here. Merciless Strike does 50 more damage if the Pokemon that is active has damage on it, so it does an overall 120. Sandshrew, a new one, double scratch. Love the full art. Basically gambling to do up to 40 damage for each heads. Mega Kangaskhan full art. The other art looks great. A Gigalith, I'm not sure. I feel like this is maybe a throwaway card, but, you know, this Mega Mawile EX is sick. Again, until this Pokemon leaves the active spot, this Pokemon Heat Up, Crunch, Attack does plus 30 damage. Essentially, you can do 19T and keep this alive with Metal Core Barrier, Adamant, the works. Even Icy Popsicle or whatever if you want to flip to try and keep this alive. This may be a pretty difficult Pokemon to get rid of, but yeah, the art is cool. And Tyrantrum, here we go, 150, just like Rampardos and all that stuff. Tyrannical Fang, 100 damage, plus if you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, this will do 80 more damage. So 180. 3 fighting energy is quite a lot. I guess we'll see. Is there gonna be some sort of energy ramper for fighting? Like, it's cool, and most of the time you're just like by yourself anyways as a fighting type Pokemon, so that's okay. Purloin, whiny voice, beautiful full art. Flip a coin. If heads, look at a random card from your opponent's hand and shuffle it into their deck. It's like, okay, it's like a silver, but then you gotta flip. I think flips are always going to be something that's debatable. I don't think it's going to be good most of the time in a small deck list, so we'll see. Now this caught us by surprise. Basic Immersive Meow. The ability is Feeling Fine, which is just doing no damage but draws a card. Now this is a kind of funny one. The Carefree Steps is, again, if any damage is being done to this Pokemon by attacks, not ability. So Greninja can still poke this for free. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. So kind of like Shieldon. What was it? Bastiodon. Togekiss. That type of ability. But for a basic, I mean, it's not an EX, but it's just got crazy artwork for it. So that's kind of cool to see. And then we've got the Galarian Berserker. Ability Dig Up once during your turn when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Oh, wait, sorry. When you play this Pokemon, so this is like evolutions, right? Evolve on your Pokemon, you may put 2... Oh, wait. When you may put 2 random Pokemon tool cards from your discard pile into your hand. This guy can bring back the Metal Core Barriers. Wow, okay. Metal Claw, 70 damage, so that's within Oricorio range. Stage 1. With the Stadium card as well, for Stage 1, that's 80 damage. This is actually not bad. 2 Steel Energy, though. That might be a bit of an ask, but... yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Alright, cool. Oh man, this Rainbow Mega Mawile art is sick. Really, really cool. Look, I feel like they're just upping the game every time. We now have Salamence, so this is a new dragon in play. Dragon Dive. Full art. Again, it's just... like, this is why we're playing Pokemon Pocket, right? It's just that good. Flip a coin. Damn it. If tailed, it does 50 damage to itself, so it can just it goes from 150 to 100. Okay, but it doesn't lose any energy. But again, dual energy type dragon Pokemon is always going to be a bit difficult. However, you do have Mantike and Magby, so this is like a variance, I guess. No weakness to retreat cost. I think Dragonite may still be better there, but we'll see. Yveltal, Evil Crash, discard a round of energy from both active Pokemon. Okay. 3 Dark Energy though. There's no Dark Rampers that I know of so far. 120 hit points, but it is a basics to retreat. Weak to Electric. Not sure. Toxel, Static Shock, 30 for 2 energy with 60 HP. Not really the greatest to start with. Mega Gardevoir. This is a full art here, which looks great. And the immersive is going to look pretty incredible too. Toxtricity EX, 2 electric, 1 colorless, damaging spark, does 90, 150 hit points for a stage 1, not bad. This attack also does 30 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon that has damage on it. I think 3 colorless for 90 is a bit much. And if the benched is damaged, then it will do more. But I wonder with the Poncho is if you have a damaged Pokemon with a Poncho on, doesn't that nullify that? So I don't know if Toxicity EX is going to be great. Mimikyu EX, I feel like I've seen some sort of photo of Mimikyu like this a lot in the physical TCG. Looks awesome. And we know what this does, right? When this Pokemon is first damaged by an attack after coming into play, it prevents that damage. Don't think it does to abilities though, but Claw Slash, and this goes well with the peculiar card for the stadium here for Psychic. Galarian Ponyta, flop, so interesting to see what Rapidash looks like and what it does. Minun, Buddy Spark. If Fossil is on your bench, this attack also does 10 damage to each of your Pokemon's bench Pokemon. So it's like a mini cleaver. You could do double Minun, double Plusle. Interesting. I guess this would this is such a cool Toxtricity card, by the way. I guess like as we go to this would in a way sync well with Toxtricity. At least for that type of combination. A new Indeedee, basic. Zen Shard, this attack does 70 damage to one of your opponent's benched. 3 energy. For now, having tools that can prevent bench damage is going to be rough, so I don't think this Indeedee is going to be used as much. Although, having said that, you know, having the Mega Gardevoir being able to ramp energy pretty quickly, this may be okay. Just interesting to see where the breakpoint will be for 70 damages and Pokemon in the bench. The other crown is Meloetta, Strange Singing. So this is going to be a pretty important card in a lot of decks, I think, for the Psychic Pokemon types. At the beginning of your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active, so your goal obviously is to start with Meloetta, you can just grab a random Psychic Pokemon from the deck into your hand so you can play it straight away. It could get pretty nuts. Like I can even think of bringing in like Sylveon, right? And just getting that straight down, right? Turn 1, grabs the Sylveon if you're lucky enough or have it in your hand, truck the Eevee down to evolve, draw more, and then you just get Gardevoir up and running. You could combine this with Giratina, turn 1, Dawn. You're ready to go by turn 3 most of the time, doing 110 damage with Gardevoir and setting up for turn 5. So pretty cool card. We got a Snubble here, so Sharp Fang, 30 for 60, 1 retreat, colorless, weak to steel because it's fairy. This immersive probably is one of the prettiest immersives I've seen. Mega Gardevoir EX. So you guys know what it's all about. 110, 3 energy to wherever you want in Psychic Pokemon in any way you like. Mimikyu Alt Art here, really nice for the EX. Mega Swampert. 230 hit points, just like Blastoise, Mega Blastoise. Strong Armed Destroyer, 150 damage, 3 energy. Discard 2 random energy from among the energy attached to all Pokemon. Both yours and your opponent's. So what Gardevoir gives, 3 energy, this guy can get away 2, but not just to actives, it's to all Pokemon. That's actually insane. He ints himself, but he prevents, and 150 damage is no joke. It's a good threshold. I like this card. I think, is it possible that we now see potentially Vaporeon play from Mystical Islands to divert water energy that you've lost from your active from Mega Swampert here to the front, and then you can attack again. Interesting. All right, we have a really cool Score Bunny here. Flop. Damn, the art is just immaculate. This rainbow one is even better. Holy crud. Mega Swampert. All right, good to see that these guys are into the deck right now. Blacephalon EX Rainbow here. 2 attacks, I think. Well, 2 moves. Singe. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Really cool. Easy 20 damage there. And Pop Punk. Discard 3 fire energy from this Pokemon to do 140. So rather than doing, what was it? Having 100 HP doing 70 damage to itself, this now removes basically all the fire energy from itself. But we do know that fire now has Flame Patch, so you can restore that pretty easily. Pretty interesting. Alolan Ninetales EX. During your opponent's next turn... Oh, sorry. Binding Snow. By the way, Rainbow, top notch. 80 damage, 2 water energy. They can't take any energy from their energy zone to attach to their active. So this is basically a water version of the net. But 2 energy and it's an EX, 150 to retreat cost. Trying to think. Now, I'd say that would be pretty good, but if you go up against Psychic that has the peculiar stadium with the 2 retreat, they can kind of retreat for free there. Or they don't attach any energy at all. I think for most part it could be alright, but time will tell. I'm feeling contradicted to this one. The new Oricorio here, so during your next turn, Inspiring Dance, this only does 10 damage, but whoever you send in next is going to do plus 20 damage, so basically a free red or double Geo to your opponent's active Pokemon. Could be alright. I can see how it would work better on fire, just because you have the Flame Patch there. You can bring in the Entei and then it'll do 80 damage instead of 60. Not bad, but I think there's better fire Pokemon out there that we can use that's not Entei. Like Turtonator can do 110. I guess Rapidash, basically, yeah, other Pokemon there. I think it can be alright. The other alt art form of Ninetales EX. Blacephalon, other art form. Oh, Aurorus. That is the other fossil, isn't it? So the Sail fossil is for Aurorus. Gotcha. Hail Prison. So it's a 90 damage, 2 water and 1 colorless. Discard 2 water energy from this Pokemon. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Jesus. Oh man, this is really... So when we made the video about energy management, like, it's no joke. Like, there's a lot of energy removals, either by yourself or your opponent that's being played here. So this is pretty nuts. Guaranteed Paralysis is cool. We'll see if there's going to be more PCLs in play. A new Cramorant, damn, eating the Pikachu, but art is immaculate. Spit Out Shot, this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Okay, so it's like a sniper. For 180, not bad. Full Art Cacnea, nice. Roserade, ooh, okay. Poison Ring, Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. During your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't retreat. So this not only poisons the opponent, it also prevents them from retreating. So that's kind of cool. Trying to think. It is a stage 2 Roserade, 1 retreat cost, only 90 HP, so pretty squishy. Not sure if it's worth it for that low hit points, although, you know, Leaf Cape Lilligant helps to pump it up a bit. But yeah. Teal Mask Ogerpon. So this is one of the full arts here. Soothing Wind. Essentially, so this is what it's got to do with all the other energy that I was looking at here. So ability-wise, each of your Pokemon that has any energy attached prevents it from all special conditions and can't be affected by any special conditions. So that is pretty cool to kind of put everywhere if you don't plan to use any energy on this guy. Otherwise, if you attack, if the amount of energy attached to both the active Pokemon is 5 or more, this will do up to 120 damage instead. Pretty cool kind of mechanic there. Vivillon, 130 hit points, stage 2 Pokemon. Oh wait, sorry. Go back to Roserade. Is Roserade a stage 1? Sorry, Roserade's a stage 1. Which means, does that mean Budew is in this? Okay, I don't know. Okay, because this is stage 2. That's why I had a look at it here. Opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and asleep. Basically a mini Mega Venusaur. This Teal Mask Ogerpon Rainbow is amazing. Immaculate. Love the fireworks. Love the scenery. Jesus. A new Boswell card here. Ground Beat, 40 damage plus. If your Pokemon has gotten exactly 1 point, this attack will do 40 more. So this will do 80 damage for 110 hit points and 2 retreat cost. It is an Ultra Beast though, so you can use it in the Ultra Beast deck with Celesteela. So that's cool. Rainbow Latios. Reshiram, 3 fire energy, blue fair, 110 damage, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. For a basic, sure, not sure how much it was going to be used. We've got the shiny Kingdra, shiny Pichu, shiny Latios, shiny Espeon EX, shiny Tyrogue, Donphan, Lugia, Umbreon EX, which, you know what, I love the shiny for Umbreon EX, shiny Pampi, Mantike, Sylveon EX is stellar, Tangela, Magby, Flareon, Ho-Oh, Seadra, Horsey, Hitmonchan, and it looks like, I think that is it for most of the new cards, guys. So, oh wait, hang on. There's the Slackoth here. Here's the Slacking. Okay, never mind. I totally lied to you guys. Snoozing Habit. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever you attach an energy from your energy zone to it, it is now asleep. So kind of similar to Kamala. Knuckle Sandwich. 150 damage. Will discard a random energy from this Pokemon. I don't like it. The 4 retreat cost is insane as well, but I get it. He's a super big Pokemon. I guess if you pair it with the Ogerpon EX, this thing can't be asleep, right? But yeah, another new Furfrou. Same fur coat, but hammer in. Does 70 damage, 3 colorless, 1 retreat. 80 for 70, but 3 is quite a big ask. I don't think it's going to get used that much. Vigoroth, 100 for 92 and colorless. Flip a coin. Oh my god. No, slacking. Okay, I'm gonna say no to slacking. Tailo. Tornadus. Holy crap, how many new cards are there? If a stadium is in play, this attack does 40 more damage. So if the stadium with basics, I guess, or any stadium, but this one with basic would be 110 hit points, 80 damage for 2 energy. Pretty damn good. Swallow, stage 1, repelling wind here. Once during your turn, you may switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Oh, okay, so it's basically Pidgeot from Genetic Apex. the non-EX form. Wing attack for 50, so not as good, but it is a stage 1. Diggersby, Earthquake for 70. Attack does 10 damage to each of your bench. 200. I think there's better cards. Mousehold, Family Beatdown, flip a coin for each Tandem Mouse and Mousehold you have in play. This attack does 60 damage for each heads. So you could essentially flip 4 coins, 60 damage each, which does 240. Base Lugia here. Aeroblast, 80. 4 energy though. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 40 more for each heads. So can do up to 160. The 4 energy is pretty crazy, but I guess there's ways to get it. Shiny Omistar, Bunnelby, Tandem Mouse. Here's the flop. Pull 3 random cards from among Tandem Mouse and Mousehold from your deck onto your bench. I can see how quickly this ramps up now. Nice. A little basic we have there. We got Bagon. Looks great. 60 for 20 bite. Shelgon, Rolling Tackle. Which is like a bite, guys. But 100 HP is nice. Meowth that we saw earlier, but the basic form. Mega Kangaskhan in its regular form. We've got the Ferret. The Salamence looks great. There's another Kangaskhan here, Steady Punch. Flip the coins. If heads, it does up to 90 for 3 energy, but I'm still not sure about that. We got a new Persian and Sentret here. Smeargle, once during a turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at a random supporter card from your opponent's hand. This Pokemon is in the active spot. Wow! Use the effect of that card as the effect of this ability. Huh. Damage and everything is not great. At least it's got a 1 retreat cost, but you could essentially use your opponent's Professor's Research if they have it. 60 HP though. The ability is nice. I'm just not sure in terms of viability. I guess you want to start with this, use Portrait, then get out of there, and then you can use your own. So you could essentially Professor's Research twice. Interesting. We got a new extra drill, sorry. Pone Edge. Oh, we have a new Aegislash. 70, 20 cut up, Doublade. More flip coins if you're feeling lucky. Another Ferrothorn. Galarian Stunfisk. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot when your opponent's active Pokemon retreats, this attack does 40 damage to the new active Pokemon. Wow, so it could do 80, but it's a very niche type thing to have. A new Mawile here, Cavernous Chomp, sorry. 50 for 80. This does use 1 colorless though, so you can kind of pair it with Mega Mawile if you want to. A new Aegislash, 3 energy, superb shield. So this is more of the defense form. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes negative 80 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX. So 220 HP, kind of. Negative 80. And this is not even flip a coin, so that's kind of interesting. Solid 80, 3 energy though, but negative 80 damage from EX. Okay. Mega Mawile, we saw Ferroseed, Scraggy, and Scrafty. If this Pokemon has more energy attached than your opponent's active Pokemon, this will do 50 more. So it can do 100 only if the opponent has 1 energy, essentially. The Galarian Berserker that we saw. The Galarian Meowth is here. The new Lipard. Flip a coin, again, can do 60 damage. New Guzzlord base. Break Core. Flip a coin. If heads, discard your opponent's active Pokemon. Oh, man. Okay. Cool. It's almost... I mean, this with Will still, right? I gotta read Lusamine again when we go follow it up, because I wonder if Lusamine works on the basic Galarian. Sorry, the basic Guzzlord. This is basically like Magmortar with the smokescreen shot here. Glaring Lanoon, which is the stage 1 of Zigzagoon, or Obstagoon, sorry. A new Spirit Tomb, Final Scream, if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out. From an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, do 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so it's like a after effect that does 10 to all, which makes pretty good sense with Galarian Obstagoon. So that's kind of cool, but wouldn't you rather just use the regular Spirit Tomb for 1 energy and just attack? Although this is colorless, so I guess there's a use for that. Grimer, not great. Tyrantrum we've seen. The Alolan Persian, the Tyrant, looks cute as heck. Another Passimian. This attacks us 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. The Phalanx, which we saw. Oh, here we go. Another Mask Ogerpon here. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes a negative 100 damage from attacks. Only 40 attack though, so I don't know. The Alolan Muck, which is the ability to basically attack all Ricorios. Swagger. Yep. I don't think we'll use Gigalith, Meditite. There's a few interesting ones. There's a new Cubone, 70 for 10 Headbutt. Might be good for Marowak in future. Medicham. Has any Psychic attached? This attack does 50 more. Okay. So if you do dual energy, but you need the Spiting one still. Roggenrola, Drillbur, another Machamp. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck. This is actually not bad. 80 damage, 2 energy. So you can candy into Machamp and just get rid of the top card of your opponent's deck. That's pretty good. Machoke looks in shape. Damn. Chop for like 90 for 40 is not bad as well. Sinistea. Same as Hide effect. Sandshrew. Machop, man, these cards. Yep, indeedy. Poltergeist, Refreshing Tea. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may have your opponent shuffle their hand into their deck. For each remaining point that your opponent needs to win, they draw a card. Okay, so if they need... This is like a Mars? Or something, right? Based on how much Pokemon that they... So if they need 3 points, they draw 3 cards. If they only need 1 point, they draw 1 card. Yeah, this is Mars. Interesting. Super interesting. Fury Swipes. Another... The Psychic version of Chandelure coming here. Litwick. New Curlier. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. 20 damage. Yeah, not bad. New Gardevoir, Side Turbo. Take 2 energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench. So even the regular Gardevoir here, you do 60 damage, but you can give energy to your bench Pokemon. For Gorgeist, discard a card from your hand. If you can't, this attack does nothing. Past Friends, this attack does 20 more damage for each supporter card in your discard pile. Wow. Psychic's got some pretty cool stuff. That's the regular Toxtricity. Rolts can now confuse. I think we still maybe prefer the Teleport Rolts. Galarian Rapidash here, Psychic, 1 energy. If you have 5 or more Psychic energy in play, this does 60 more. It's like the old school Lapras from Genetic Apex, I believe. I don't think it's worth the time, right? 5 energy just to do an extra 100. I don't know. It's pretty cards though. Oh, we got Belly Bolt. Stage 1 Electric Ball, 80 damage. I guess you can if you go second with a Pichu. Granbull, Strength 90 for 120. Tadpole, take a electric energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. So this is like the Executor version, or the Alolan Execute, sorry, the Execute that is colorless, but no, actually. Alolan Execute needs grass. This one's a colorless that can charge. Although if we go back, Belly Bolts needs 2 electric though. Alright. Okay. We have a new Wobbuffet. 80 damage, but we'll do 10 to itself. 2 colorless. The Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. It doesn't look like the Ogerpon basics in general are that great, I feel. A new Zap, Heavy Thunder. One other Pokemon, either yours or your opponent, is chosen at random 1 time. Do 100 damage to that chosen Pokemon. So this could self-KO, is my guess. Because it's not bench or anything, it's one other Pokemon. Okay. Aracuda for Ram. Love the Cramorant in the back hunting it. Oh, this is another Cramorant. Oh, so the other Cramorant full art was Pikachu. This is the, what is it? The Aracuda. Interesting. Of course, set wouldn't be without another Pikachu. There's 10 damage to itself. Though 30 is pretty good. So it goes to 50. Plusle. Flip a coin for Paralyze. And this one will do damage to the opponent's bench as well if they are in sync together. Barraskewda. Nah. Alolan Raichu. Surge Surfer. If a stadium is in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Okay, stage 1 plus 10 damage. Thunder Spear will do 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay. Cool. I can see now stage 1s with the electric decks are back. Pretty fun. Amura. And Cryo Gonal. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. Frozen Lock, although 20 damage, it is a basic 1 retreat. That can be very, very helpful to set up your others. Regular Swampert here, discard a random energy from among... Yeah, okay, so this is just 1 energy compared to the Mega that does 2 energy to all. This, in a way, is pretty decent. But to get to stage 2, that's going to be tricky overall. Pretty good. And of course, we have the Vanillux Sweets Relay. So this does 60 more damage, which is pretty nuts. Sweets Relay, if you want to go through that route. We got a new Dreadnought here, but not really needed to talk about. And I think the last one is the Flame Mask Ogerpon here. So this is interesting. If you flip a coin and it's heads, take 2 fire energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench. So I think you'd rather still go with the regular Flareon though. New Delibird here, another flip coin. Will do 70 damage if flipped heads. Heal 30 damage from your opponent's active Pokemon. So, okay. So you either hurt them or heal them. Probably best not to use that card. And Cinderace here, Fireball Shot, 120 during your next turn. This can't attack, but he does get a free retreat. So it's not actually that bad. Galarian Mr. Rhyme. Yep, triple spin. 3 coins for each, yep. Oh, Mr. Rhyme, sorry. And then there's Galarian Mr. Mime. There you go. Mudkip. Pyroar, 70. Litleo. Alolan Marowak. Fiery Bone. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Okay. I think there's the reboot. Regular Blacephalon, Reshiram, Scatterbug. Basic, and then you got Spewpa. Put a random card that evolves from Spewpa from your deck into your hand. Useful. Chestnut. 80 damage during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, do 80 damage to the attacked Pokemon. Okay, so it can tank 1, and if it goes back to his turn and he stays there, he receives 80 damage. 2 grass, 2 color. This is interesting. Wow, Eldegoss. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. It's like Perseverance and save it? Does that remove the Gossifleur as well? I wonder. Buzz. There's the Gossy. Chespin. Shuckle. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes negative 20 damage from attacks. 2 grass energy though, so not sure about that. Cacturn. If the opponent's active Pokemon has damage, does up to 120 for 3. I think Ledian is swift, 40 damage to anything, no weakness involved. And I believe that is it. So that was a bunch of cards to get through. Sorry it took so long, but yeah, looks like we are in for a huge change. So let me know what you guys think. If you're excited, what card is the most exciting to you guys? And I can't wait to pull tomorrow. So best of luck, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.